In the early 1900s, mattresses weren't mass-produced or filled with high-tech foams. They were handmade, built to last, and stuffed with natural materials like cotton, wool, and even horsehair. Each material served a purpose: cotton for softness, wool for insulation, and horsehair for resilience and airflow. Cotton mattresses needed regular maintenance, beating and restuffing to keep them comfortable. Wool kept sleepers warm in winter and cool in summer, and resisted mold in drafty homes. Horsehair, though unusual today, was prized for its springiness and durability. Mattresses were hand-tufted to keep the filling evenly distributed, preventing lumps and sagging. The focus was always on function: a firm, breathable surface that supported the body and stayed dry. People engineered their beds as tools for rest, not just as furniture. It was hard, dusty work to make and maintain a mattress, but the payoff was a solid night's sleep. These beds were practical, using what was available and proven to work. There was no obsession with the latest trends, just common sense and craftsmanship. The result? Mattresses that lasted for years and delivered reliable comfort. It's a lesson in valuing durability and simplicity over flashy innovation. Sometimes the best sleep comes from the basics done right. That's the real foundation of a good night's rest. Making a bed in the early 1900s was a strategic process, not just a chore. Without central heating, people relied on layers to trap body heat and stay warm through the night. The first layer protected the mattress from sweat and dirt, making cleaning easier. Next came sheets, followed by a lightweight cotton or wool blanket to wick away moisture. Heavy wool blankets were stacked on top, their air pockets providing powerful insulation. The weight of these blankets added comfort and security, an early version of today's weighted blankets. A quilt or coverlet finished the stack, sealing in warmth and preventing heat from escaping. Each layer had a job: protection, moisture control, insulation, and heat retention. The result was a customizable, breathable system that could be adjusted for the weather. It took effort, but the alternative was a cold, sleepless night. This method turned the bed into a fortress against the cold, using only what was on hand. Layering wasn't about luxury, it was about survival and comfort. The wisdom of strategic layering is something we can still use today. Sometimes the simplest solutions are the most effective. Pillows in the early 1900s weren't about softness, they were about support. Firm, densely packed pillows kept the head and neck aligned with the spine, preventing aches and pains. Fillings like tightly packed feathers, kapok, horsehair, or cotton provided structure, not fluff. The goal was to fill the gap between your head and the mattress, whether you slept on your side or back. People intuitively chose pillows that promoted healthy posture, not just comfort. Modern experts now echo this wisdom. Proper support means better sleep and fewer morning aches. Back then, a pillow was a tool, not a luxury item. The focus was on waking up refreshed and ready for a physical day's work. Sometimes comfort comes from support, not softness. It's a lesson worth remembering. In the early 1900s, the bed frame was more than just furniture. It was essential engineering. Made from iron or heavy wood, these frames were built for strength and stability. Wooden slats or wire bases provided firm support and allowed air to circulate beneath the mattress, preventing dampness and mold. The height of the bed was practical too. Raised frames kept sleepers above cold drafts and created storage space underneath. Every element served a purpose: stability, ventilation, and warmth. A sturdy frame meant no squeaks or wobbles, ensuring uninterrupted rest. The slatted base kept the mattress dry and fresh, extending its life. Bed placement was strategic, lifting sleepers out of the coldest air near the floor. These frames were designed for function, not just looks. The result was a warmer, drier, and more comfortable sleep environment. Practical thinking shaped every detail. Today, we can learn from this focus on utility over appearance. A good bed frame is the foundation of restful sleep. Sometimes the simplest designs are the smartest. Sheets in the early 1900s were built to last, made from tough linen or heavy cotton. Linen was prized for its strength and moisture-wicking properties, while cotton offered affordability and durability. Laundry was hard work, boiling, scrubbing, and harsh soaps, so sheets had to withstand serious wear. Longevity and function mattered more than luxury. Sheets were often passed down through generations, not replaced every season. Making the bed was a craft. Hospital corners and tight tucks kept sheets smooth and secure. A taut bottom sheet prevented tangles and discomfort, while a tightly tucked top sheet sealed in warmth. This snug setup created a cozy, draft-free envelope for sleep. Attention to detail made a big difference in comfort and warmth. Sheets weren't just bedding, they were essential tools for a good night's rest. The focus was always on practicality and comfort. Sometimes the basics are what matter most. Before central heating, bedroom design was all about keeping warm and blocking drafts. Bed placement mattered, never against cold exterior walls or under drafty windows. Beds were tucked against interior walls or in sheltered corners for extra warmth. Heavy curtains made from thick fabrics like velvet or wool insulated windows, trapping heat and blocking cold air. During the day, curtains let in sunlight. At night, they sealed in warmth. Thick rugs covered cold, drafty floors, adding insulation and comfort underfoot. Every element, from bed placement to floor coverings, worked together to create a cozy, quiet sanctuary. The goal was to turn a simple room into a fortress against the cold. These strategies made a real difference in comfort and sleep quality. Practical, passive design was key to surviving chilly nights. Even today, small changes in room setup can make a big impact. Sometimes old wisdom is the best defense against the cold. Good sleep in the early 1900s was about routine as much as bedding. Changing into dedicated night clothes signaled the end of the workday and kept beds clean and warm. Hot water bottles filled and wrapped pre-warmed the bed and provided targeted heat for cold feet. These simple tools made a big difference without heating the whole house. Ventilation was also important. Cracking a window before bed refreshed the air without making the room frigid. Fresh air and a warm bed were the perfect combination for healthy sleep. These habits worked together to prepare both body and environment for rest. The approach was holistic. Every action contributed to better sleep. Simple rituals, repeated nightly, made falling asleep easier. The wisdom of routine is timeless. Sometimes the best sleep aid is a little preparation. Good habits are as important as good bedding. Old-fashioned sleep habits aren't outdated, they're timeless. The principles of natural materials, strategic layering, and dedicated routines still work today. Swap synthetic sheets for cotton, linen, or wool for better breathability and comfort. Layer blankets instead of relying on a single heavy comforter for more control over warmth. Choose a pillow that supports your neck, not just one that feels soft. Make sure your bed frame is sturdy and allows for airflow beneath your mattress. Small changes like switching to natural fibers or using a slatted base can have a big impact. Embrace a bedtime routine, put away screens, warm your feet, and keep your room cool and dark. These aren't just quaint habits. They're backed by science and generations of experience. The people of the early 1900s knew what worked, even without modern research. By borrowing their wisdom, we can improve our own sleep. Sometimes, the simplest changes make the biggest difference. Rediscover the satisfaction of a truly good night's sleep. It's worth a try.